Done.
Okay, so start at this point. I have to watch out what coming out of my mouth. Okay, okay. So let's start our discussion today. Today I will be the moderator for Book Brewers session. And up until now, we have 5 presenters who will share the books that they already read. First of all, I would like to ask Mbak Imung, do you want to share a book that you read, Mbak Imung?
Yeah, I got the book, but
Yes.
one moment. I think I have somebody on the door. Sorry.
Okay, yeah. Okay,
David,
so
start aja, David.
yep, yeah. Okay, so then we will start with the first presenter right away. Anyone want to be the first? Donald maybe or Mbak Dias?
I'm back.
Yes,
Okay.
she's read so many books behind her.
Okay, so then I pick Mbak Dias then. Mbak Dias, can you be the first? Yeah.
Okay,
Saladin.
so good afternoon, everyone. Sorry for not coming for the last two, I think two book discussion because I was out of town, and then I mean I had a pretty long list of movies that I have to watch because and videos due to my assignment. Anyway, the book that I'm going to discuss, actually I read it like 2 months ago when Ramadan. The title is Saladin by John Mann. This is the book. And then the book is all about history because Aladdin was one of the most influential, what can I say, heroes for Muslims. But one thing that made me read about this and decided to discuss it is because um, the publicity of Saladin was not only by the Muslims but by actually by the Christians. Was I think they were the first one who documented everything about Saladin. So then I decided to read it through this third point of view by John Mann. From this is not from the Middle East or from Asian, so I think I get a clearer view on what he has been doing, and then until he wins all the wars, I guess. And then the key takeaway that I get from the book, I don't think I can mention three because the book and Saladin himself was discussed in my kajian. I don't know what's kajian in English. Anyway, because it's really related to Quran back and forth. So I guess what I can say is that he's actually one of the best example because not only he's so strong and tough in the themes of war, but also he's a very delicate whenever he has to do negotiation. So I think that's the best quality that I don't think any leaders have that kind of quality yet. So the how this book can be applied in real life is, I think, it's actually by balancing the hard and the soft, the strong and the weakness, the tough part and the delicate part. So then you can make the best out of yourself. So, and then number four, anything to disagree with? I don't think I have anything to disagree with because this is a history book. So, because it happens. So I have no opinion against it. And then I'm open to, hopefully, if you have any question, then I can answer it because the when I discuss about Saladin is mostly related to the religion. So but this book is very, what can I say, it's very neutral in a sense. It doesn't really highlight any religion in this part because they only highlight only about Saladin. So I guess that's it, David. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dias. Yeah. So let's have a Q&A session. Maybe
Sure.
anyone want to ask question?
I have two questions. Which one do you choose?
Go on. The most difficult one, Pete.
Oh, most difficult one. Yes,
My
there are
Mu
so
also
many.
just raised her hand, so
No, it's not difficult. It's not difficult. So there are so many heroes in Islam, right? And I probably can say Saladin is the least famous among them. So why did you decide to read about Saladin?
First of all, because I had this book pretty long time ago, and then the second reason is because on the Ramadan kajian like 2 months ago, the idea was discussing about someone who's not really famous. So talking about heroes in Islam is usually we talk about the four best friends, the four best men of Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and then the relatives of him. But I chose this, and thank God it was discussed. So then we there were lots of insights. I hope that answers your question.
What were the insights that probably we can apply in our daily life, but not necessarily about religion?
Well, Saladin is tough because his father told him so, and then he got another influence by his uncle to be what man's supposed to be is like masculine. You have to be tough, you have to be strong. But then along the way, he also learned how to negotiate. He learned how to communicate with others. I think that's the best quality of him because not only not only revealing the truest part of yourself, but also sometimes because you're human, you have your own weakness. So and then I think that's that is what makes him really balanced in terms of someone who can win the war. So it's not only about the strong one, but also something inside you. So maybe if it's related to the heroes, let's say in the Marvel universe, Captain America, is always strong and then wow, fighting here and there. But also he has his own soft side, right? Whenever he remember about Agent Carter, oh no, what am I? Why am I talking? Something like that. So Doctor Stranger also like that. Whenever he remember about his past, and so I think that that is the red line between every hero story. And then the
Thank
list
you.
goes on because we have lots of heroes in Marvel Universe. if I think David, right? I remember because your book is about mythology, and then you mentioned lots about Thor.
Yep.
And then Loki.
Thor, Odin, Loki.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you
Okay.
for your question.
Thank you. Anyone else want to ask a question?
But
Donald?
Mbak Imung would like to ask
Donald or Mbak
something,
Imung?
right?
Okay, Mbak Imung then. Mbak Imung first, ya.
Just question. Salahuddin, I mean, in my universe, Salahuddin is actually one of the most famous Islamic heroes. I'm different in opinion than Pipit. It's just, I guess some people don't know. I mean, people in our realm, but people in the Western world, I think they know more about Saladin because Saladin sort of touched the life of Europe, right? In 12 centuries. Now, my question to you is this your first book of Saladin? Because there are so many books. What makes you interested in this book in the first place?
First of all, it's the cover because it's blue color, and then the portrait. I guess I'm curious to see this kind of portrait is very somewhere very, I mean, very jadul, this one.
Oh, he
And then
looks handsome. I would love to read that.
yeah,
Show it again, please. Show it again. Show it again, please. Ah,
John
yeah.
Man, because the others are from like Muslim scholars. Most
Yeah,
some
mostly
Muslim.
Muslim scholars, but then
And
I
he can be
decided,
arrested in Arab Saudi for being too handsome.
yeah. When you're too handsome, you'll get arrested. And then I chose this Saladin by John Man because I want to see how Saladin perceived by the Westerns instead of by the Middle Easterns, because um, I think there were like Tunisian writer or Saudian writer also writes about Saladin, but then I believe that whenever a Muslim scholar write it, then they will revert back and forth to whatever verse in Quran, and then for me there will be another topics to be discussed. But here in John Man was really focusing on what happened and what was the history behind Saladin. So that will be my reason out of curiosity.
How many pages, dear?
Not that
600?
long actually.
Really?
Oh, no, not even 400. It's like 350. And including the glossary, it's like 380.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, Donald then, yeah.
Thank you. Dias, can you share with us the story in the book that impressed you the most? One story.
That impressed me the most is actually his childhood, because he grew up with a very strong-willed father, and then along the way when he was in his teenager, he got raised by his uncle, and even more harder, because like a hard personality. And then um, what amazed me is because through his life from early childhood to teenager, it was always masculinity, strong will, everything hard, everything a man's supposed to be. But then he realized by learning and by trusting his own heart that negotiation and communication is also important in his life. So um I think that made him the most influential, because he's not only strong on the outside, appear strong on the outside, but he also can touch some community, even when he done his war, he appreciates. And then he made a very good communication with I think with everyone. He's a very good example of public relations. Supposed to be is like this. Strong but also soft, and be the perfect balance between strong and soft, I guess. So thank you,
So
Donald.
maybe you can give us a specific example. So maybe
Sorry.
specific example. So on certain war with these people, the general did this, and then
Oh,
Saladin also
I
did.
sorry, I already forgot which I mean the detail part of it, but I only take the general, I mean the general history from this book, because there were lots of war. And then I got mixed up with the movie, because I think Hollywood made one movie from this, but the review is not really good as well. So I only watched the trailer, but then I decided not to I decided not to watch it anyway.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Donald.
Yes,
Okay.
there's one here. If you want to go deep into the Saladin, I haven't read the book, but I do have the ebook,
Mhm.
Saladin, Hero of Islam. The writer is also not Muslim. Hindley, Jeffrey
Korean.
Hindley. And
Oh,
it's like 1615 pages.
wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll search it.
That's why I asked, is it 600 pages?
No,
Seems
this
like
one is
the standard
Only
bio pages is
1650.
around 600.
this one is only 350. It's even a lot shorter than most of the nonfiction books we've always read, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And we also have the Indonesian translation actually. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, I
Published
haven't.
by Alphabet, because actually I already read Saladin as well, but the
Oh, okay.
Indonesian version. Yeah.
Oh, Indonesian version. Okay.
Yeah. And also if you buy the Indonesian version, definitely it's cheaper lah.
Okay.
Okay, maybe I
Oh, I
can
didn't know
help
that.
with Donald question. We know that Saladin is famous because he managed to retake again Jerusalem from the
Mm.
Third Crusade soldiers. So one thing famous that Saladin did, yeah, if I'm not mistaken, because I also already read the book several months ago, is that he released all the children and also the wife of the prisoners, so the Christian that occupied Jerusalem before. And basically, he did not massacre them, because before the Christian did the same. I mean, massacre almost all of the Muslim that after they win the war. Yeah, something like that, Donald. Yeah. And actually, if you want to watch the movie version of Saladin, and yes, the movie is good, Kingdom of Heaven. The title is Kingdom of Heaven. So if you want to watch the movie version, yeah.
Is it Orlando Bloom ya?
Correct, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Orlando Bloom, yeah.
You remember the actor. Okay. Thank you, David.
Yeah, okay, so I guess that is the discussion for the first book, Saladin from Diaz. So after history, I think we go to motivation, yeah? So Fajar, are you ready, Fajar? Ready to awake us?
Okay.
Awake the giant within us? Okay, so now it's your turn. Probably around 15 to 20 minutes, yeah?
Okay.
Okay, so the screen is yours then.
Okay, so thank you very much, David. So today I would like to discuss about one of the book that I find very interesting. The title is Awaken the Giant Within by Anthony Robbins. I just want to check if any one of you know Anthony Robbins. Please raise your hand. Of course, David. Anyone else?
I know, but I don't like the person that's it.
I know him. I also don't like him.
Okay. Yeah, actually, when I know him at the first time, it seems like he is like too much talking, too extroverted, it doesn't give me good impression when I watch him in the YouTube. But when I read the book, actually what he write is very, very interesting. Okay, let me just sum it. Basically, we all human beings want to have a successful life, right? And of course, but in terms of the successful life, it's not only just financial, it's not only wealth, but it's also the whole thing, like emotions, relationship, etc., etc. And basically, what he said that the summary of his book is that how can we manage our emotions so that we can have better mood or better state or better belief so that we can face our challenges in our life in better way. So maybe just give you some example. There are several tools that he have. Wait, better can I share my screen? I have something to share. Hello?
Pipit, can you open the
Yes, I
setting?
thought it was open already. Sorry.
Only
Yeah.
can share screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Already.
Okay.
Actually, I even record this here in my wallpaper background. There are, can you see it now? there are physiology.
For me, it's a bit too small because I cannot.
Among
I
other
can,
icons.
Yeah.
I can only see
Small.
dots.
I cannot zoom in out, so I cannot zoom it in. So sorry, but actually, the Tony Robbins has given several tools so that we can have use it, so we can live a better way. So maybe I will just give you an example. There is one example is that it is question. So basically, by asking proper questions, we can change our mood from, let's say, unmotivated into motivated. So let's say, currently I'm doing thesis, and I always dislike writing, to be honest, and I keep procrastinating. And by asking the right questions, I can lift up my mood and I can change my state so that I can work on my thesis. Maybe and there is another tool. The other tool is using the pain and pleasure, so that basically our human being always be moved by those two forces. They always avoid pain and seek pleasure. So when I try to change my mood, I can ask myself, what will happen if you don't finish this thesis this semester? The answer pop up in my mind. We have to pay another
You have to
SPP.
pay.
And you are already bored with this thesis anyway, just get rid of it, and so on and so on. If my emotion doesn't change, then I can ask further questions. What is the worst thing that can happen? And by asking the proper questions, my emotion change and I become more motivated. Or I can also give questions that bring pleasure or bring me motivations. What is the best thing that I can have? Well, maybe I can have a better career after I complete this thesis, and I can have better salary, hopefully. Something like that, something that motivate us. So basically what I appreciate from this book is that we are given tools so that we can manage our emotions properly, and I think that this is a very, very complete. Okay, by the way, what are the 5 questions? I forget.
Wait a second. I will copy paste. Just a second. There you go. Can you see it?
Wait. Okay, so that was the summary. So basically, that the Tony Robbins give the tools so that we can handle our emotions much better. 3 takeaway. Yeah, I think the 3 takeaway are the tool itself. For example, like the questions method, changing our state, and then using the pain and pleasures, and then some I think, and the third one is some real life lesson or real life testimony on how we can change our belief or change our state can change our life. How this book can be applied in real life? Well, it's very useful, and I think that it is one of the most practical self-help book, to be honest. And I suggest you to just read the book, because it is the book itself can describe much better than me. I think it's quite good. Are there anything in the book that you disagree, have a concern with? I think maybe the problem is that the book is too long for self-help genre. It is like 600 pages, but I think for each chapters is actually quite detailed. And another thing that is concerned that I concern is that when I first read the book, I felt that this is just a nonsense, a bullshit. But after I learn more about self-help book, actually what Tony Robbins mentioned in the book is totally makes sense and very useful if you know how to do it. Okay. If I have to give the rating, I think I will give it 4.5 because it is one of the most practical book that I have used so far. Other self-help book is like, oh, it is interesting, it is useful, it is inspirative, but you forget that on the next day, on the next week.
It's just
Any
you,
question?
Fajar.
Okay, thank you so much, Fajar. Yeah, so Awaken the Giant Within, I can say, is one of the classic self-improvement books. Yeah. So anyone who wants to ask question? Yes. Yeah. You raise your hand, right?
Yes. Fajar, have you read Atomic Habits?
Of course.
Which one do you like better? This one or Atomic Habits?
If you ask which one is better, I prefer the Awaken the Giant Within. But I don't say that Atomic Habit is bad because both of the books are good. But basically, Awaken the Giant Within is more like changing our mind in the moment, change our emotions in the moment. But Atomic Habits is more like changing the system of our life, the rhythm, something like that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you are into NLP, so actually Anthony Robbins is one of the master in NLP. So you can learn lots of NLP technique on Awaken the Giant Within. Okay, so anyone else?
I learned about NLP a little bit. So after I learned NLP a little bit, what Tony Robbins mentioned become make sense. But before that, I don't understand.
Yep. I see.
I have been having this question, not specifically about this book, but I think every one of you can answer that. I have this tendency, if I read a book or if I want to really like a book, I also have to have a look at the sort of like that personality. And somehow, if that personality doesn't match with the value of the book, I wouldn't want to. Maybe I'm not fair. I'm not being fair, but that's how I am. And sometimes I question myself on that. For example, Robert Kiyosaki is very famous and everything, right? Talking about financial freedom or something like that, but he's not actually doing that in a way that is the book says. Or Anthony Robbins and so many others, like there's some more who actually they did some bad things, even went to jail for that. But a friend of mine said that, you know, Imo, if you can take an egg from from a chicken's arse, why can't you take the values from, you know, a book or people? What do you think, guys?
Hi, Bayu. I actually agree with you.
Yeah,
usually, a lot of people can say good things, but they don't usually apply them in their lives, right? And I think I would prefer someone who actually have done it and proven that they have done it. It gives credibility to the content of the book. Yeah, that's my opinion. I share the same opinion with you.
Okay, thanks, Pipit. I feel a little better, but I guess some other people have different opinion.
Okay, I want to jump into the discussion. Yeah, many people dislike Anthony Robbins because his style, especially when deliver his training. He is one of the top trainers in the world, and his method is rough. Means he can swear, he can pinpoint people at that moment. But I do believe he has reason. It's part of the therapy to make the other people becomes better, especially those who have trauma. So actually that's one of the methods in NLP. It's like changing the pattern. So what I can suggest is there is a documentary in Netflix, documentary about Anthony Robbins. I am not your guru. That's the title. So let me type it. So maybe you can watch him in action and see how it is, yeah? And let's see, maybe you have different perspective after watching the documentaries. I Am Not Your Guru, yeah. So that's specifically about Anthony Robbins. So I think that's all that I can share. And also now the time is 12:45, so it means
Wow.
time for us to move on to the other presenters, yeah. So Fajar, thank you so much for sharing the Awaken the Giant Within. So let's give round of applause to Fajar. Okay, let me open the floor. Who want to go next?
I
move.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Okay. This book is called The 7 Levels of Change, Different Thinking for Different Results by Rolf Smith. Why I put this book, because this is actually an old book, but because I love it so much and I'm still using it for years, and I think it's good to share it with you. One of the reasons I also put it here, I feel sorry for the book and for the writer, because this book is underrated somehow, even though it's being used in so many companies, right? For their program for innovation. However, this book is not as popular as other books about self-development or management. This book is the author. Let me talk about the author. The author is Colonel Rolf Smith, who is the director of Virtual Thinking Expedition Company in Texas. And he is retired from active military and then moved to Exxon Marketing. Hi. He's actually hold bachelor degree in mathematics, master in computer science, and his PhD is in artificial intelligence. And this book has been like, I got it for a long, long time, and I treasure that. I have actually 2 books. This one is 2007, the 3rd edition. The length is about 323, but everything in the book is really like gist, all muscles, all meat. That's what I like. And what interesting is this book, even though it's an old book, but it's very visionary in a way, very creative. If you can see in every how to say this. Let me just go to this one by one. You can start reading anywhere. You don't have to read from one, like from the very first page to the last, but from anywhere you read, you will find the meat and or the gist of the book, the value. You can also scan through the book, and you can find easily some tools, tips, and it has a fast forward overview. And in each one of the bab ya, bab apa lupa kok. What is bab? Lupa ya. Chapter. Yes. In every chapter, you can actually see. Let me open one chapter. You see here, in every chapter, you can find this, so you know what you expect from each of the chapter.
There are mind map, some kind of mind map.
Yeah, yeah. So this is really good. And in some of the on the pages, it has some margin notes. So not margin. So you can see margin notes, like even the writing is like his own handwriting. So this makes it interesting. So what is this book about? This book is actually about how people can be innovative and how an organization can be innovative through the 7 levels of change. I use this a lot in my training, though not as a 7 levels change training, but together with himself, but he cannot deliver it in like in 1 hour. giving training about this in Singapore and Jakarta offices. We're sort of connecting with him. We had a discussion, you know, he's very good, very humble. And I would love to actually have this kind of things happen here in Indonesia. Inside, you can also find this. I helped him translate it into Bahasa that he wants this. Like you can see the tips about 7 levels of change. This one is at home and this one on the other side is at work. What is the 7 levels of change? I can tell you now that the first level 1 is doing the right thing. This is effectiveness or focused thinking. Level 2 is doing things right. You cannot doing things right if what you do is not the right thing. It's confusing if you say that in bahasa, benar betul gitu ya. And level 3 is doing things better. And this one is improving. Level 4, stopping doing things or cutting means that something that is no longer relevant or obsolete, you have to cut them. And level 5 is doing things others are doing. This is copying, like what we call as ATM nowadays. Amati, tiru, modifikasi. Yeah. Level 7 is doing things no one is doing. This is doing something different or lateral thinking. And then level 7 is doing impossible, doing something that you think you cannot do, but in the end, it becomes an innovation breakthrough. Now, what I like about this book is actually everything, because it's like the whole treasure chest of knowledge about how to become innovative and how to change from one level to another. Is all here. So I don't understand why this book's not that popular. Something that I disagree, no. If I have to put the rate, if there's only 5, then 5 it is. If there's 10, then 10 it is. That's how I like the book. The key takeaway that I get from the book, a lot of us like to jump or going through the impossible or cutting or following other people copying, but we forget that we haven't done our first and second step correctly or thoroughly. And with that, so much things happen, and it's a waste of energy and time and resources. And we do that in Indonesia in so many levels, in so many ways. I hope you get something out of this. Thank you.
Thank you, Mbak Imung ya. Now, who wants to ask question? Pipit, yeah. Oh, Pipit, keplok. I
I want
thought.
to ask question.
Okay, Donald, go on, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Please correct me if I'm wrong, because I just listen brief description of the book. My impression is that some inventors, they do not go through the levels one by one, but go directly to level 6 or level 7. Like for example, Steve Jobs once said, yeah, in essence, go to hell with market research. I mean, we don't care about that. We just go directly with what we feel people need. So, and people think that iPhone was impossible to make, but they made it anyway. So, level 7. Is it possible to do something like Steve Jobs directly trying to do something at level 6 or 7, or there is something that I miss? Or actually, Steve Jobs also did the level 1 to 5. Thank you.
Oh yes, that's a good question, Donald. Thank you. I believe, and this book is belief also. You cannot go to the impossible without going through one by one first. What Steve Jobs has done is probably what we see from the outside as doing impossible. But I believe there have been a lot of process that Steve Jobs or whoever, any companies survive and thrive in their achievements. They have gone through all these steps. And I can give you an example of companies here who didn't go through that steps and want to go, up there copying, even copying. For example, Matahari wanted to go to online, copying the others, right? But look what happened, because it didn't go through the steps before. What happened was like burning money, burning resources. But Tokopedia have gone through all this first. So, or Gojek and Grab. The others, they followed but didn't go through. So that what happened. Maybe others have different opinion.
Anyone? Yeah. Different opinion, or maybe
So there's no
another
such
question.
thing as sudden change, yeah. There's no dramatic change. There's only step by step.
Dramatic change, we can actually, it depends, for me, I think it depends on how we handle, how do we have intelligence, kan ada IQ, ada kayak gitu ya. This one is dia punya enggak, does that person or the organization have the intelligence of change? Kalau dia, if that organization has been prepared all the time, it's in their culture, it's ingrained in their habits, so it's easy for them to get this change, bisa agile gitu. Otherwise, people see that as a jumping only, but I think it's a long process. It's a long learning process. Yeah.
Thank you. Maybe we still have time for one more question. Anyone?
Can I?
Yes, you can.
So can you give some example after an organization or after a person have applied this theory, seven level of change, what kind of change that happened to them? Is there any real example from the book?
There's so many examples in this book actually, and one of them, here's the thing, many of my colleagues, is even mentioned here, who went through the innovation adventure program that they have for 7 days. But what they do is they go outdoor. One of them, they go even to, like just outdoor challenging and everything. And not many people, only 7 to 10 people each time. But they go through everything in the book. Yeah. If you ask me for an example, I can give you an example from what we can do here or what we have done here. For example, the level 1, doing the right thing first. And then level 2, doing the right thing in the right way. Yeah. For example, if we have the computer and we don't know how to use it, we turn it on, right? That's doing the right thing first. Doing the right things the right way means that once you know what you do is right, according to, according to culture, according to references, SOP, regulations, ethics, standards, and stuff like that, and things can go right. But if you go jump to copying or cutting or doing impossible, but you don't know about the regulations or ethics, then it becomes wrong. It's just like you build a house or a building, but the foundation, you use banana or papers, for example. Banana and papers is something real, right? But it's not right for the foundation. Maybe that's the simple way. Fajar, sorry if I didn't satisfy your answer.
Thank you, Mbak Imung. Yeah, so I think that's also conclude the session for Mbak Imung. Let's give round of applause to Mbak Imung, yeah, with the 7 level of change. And I think the next presenter should be me, because the book that I will discuss will have connection with the book that Mbak Imung already discussed. Okay, so I guess it's my turn. I will share the screen because I already prepared a very nice PowerPoint.
Wait,
Yes,
wait,
yes,
wait.
yes, yes.
Johnson
Repeat.
will go, so let's take photo first.
Oh, okay, okay. Siap-siap ya. Foto
Sorry.
Fajar, turn on camera.
Sure.
Show your book. Johnson, grab a book nearby.
Yes.
Fajar,
Buku tabungan
your
juga
book
boleh.
is imaginary book. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, done.
Thank you.
Sorry, I need to
Carry
get
on.
Thank
going.
you, Johnson ya. Enjoy your family
Thank you.
time.
Bye.
Bye.
Oke, finish ya foto-fotonya. Yep. Okay, so the book that I will discuss is Effortless. Make it easier to do what matters most. And now section 1, what is it all about? Actually, this book is the continuation from Greg McKeown's first book, Essentialism. Essentialism is about choosing what matters most, or in Mbak Imung's 7 level of change, this is step 1.
Yeah.
Is pick the right things. Am I right ya, Mbak Imung ya? Basically, the first book, Essentialism, is about pick up the right things, say yes to the essential activities, and say no to everything else. After the author finished writing the book, still there are lots of things that he thought matter most. Everything still seems important. And even though he think, okay, I already picked what matters, but still I don't have enough time. So what is wrong with me? So here comes the second books, The Effortless. The Effortless is about doing things right, how to make it easy to accomplish what matters most. So in summary, if the first book, Essentialism, is about doing the right things, then Effortless is about doing that right things also in the right way or more effective way. So this is what the book is all about. 3 key takeaways. So Greg McKeown suggests in order for you to have an effortless result, then you need 3 things. Effortless state means our state of mind, our mindset, and then how we do it, effortless action, and then after that, you will get everlasting result, effortless result. So I will discuss these 3 key takeaways one by one. First one is the effortless state. It's a state or state of mind when you are physically rested, emotionally unburdened, and mentally energized. There are several tips that he shared with us how to achieve this effortless state. The first one is invert, how to make it easy. This is related with the mindset because we always think that the essential things must be difficult and the trivial things that are not important must be easy. That is our mindset. But how about if we invert this? How about if essential things are easy? Or maybe start to ask yourself a question, how to make it easy? He gave an example from Southwest Airlines. At that time, they are having difficulties in printing the tickets. It was the time when the airfare ticket is still using that nice paper. The machine, it is not suitable to print that thick paper. It takes a long time, so that lots of queue people just to print the tickets. And in order to buy the new machine, it is quite expensive. For Southwest Airlines, it is not an option. So they start to think how to make it easy. And then the executive think, how about if we just print it in the standard A4 paper? That will solve the problem. Anyway, who should define what an airfare ticket looks like? Yeah, it's us. As long as we know it's the ticket that's valid, it's okay, even though it's just in a standard A4 paper. So finally, they solved the problem just by print it in a standard A4 paper. No need to have that very nice looking thick paper. So that's one of the example how we use invert, how to make it easy. The second one is about enjoy. Every time we face the essential things that we have to do, ask to ourselves, what if this could be fun? Because once again, we always have a mindset, oh, if this is essential, then it has to be hard. We need to labor in it. But try to find another activities that you can combine so that the essential things become fun. He gave an example. For example, when you have to call clients, let's say you are sales and marketing. For some people, it is not enjoyable task. But how about if we combine it with, let's say, taking taking a shower in a hot tub? So ya, Anda bisa berendam while making a phone call. So that activities become more enjoyable. Okay, so those are the two things that really struck me the most. And the other one is I just mentioned it. Release is about the power of letting go. Some people we are not functioning very well because we do have trauma and emotional burden of the past. You have to let go and then rest, having enough rest, sleeping, and also notice is about to train your brain to focus on what's important and ignore the irrelevant. So that is the first things that you need to do, the effortless state. The second things that you have to do in order to achieve a effortless result is the effortless action. Most of us think that if we try very hard, then we got a better result. But the thing is how we accomplish what matter by trying less, not more. And this actually comes from his curiosity. When he was at the college, he has a friend. Well, it seems like that this friend just do the necessary work. He just told what the teacher to do, and then he stops. He compare with himself, take long hours of preparation, doing the homework, and then do everything else. But at the end, he got the same grades. So I think maybe my friend is more effective because he just did what the teacher asked him to do, not more. So what are the tips? The first one is about define. Define what done looks like. Establish a clear condition what done looks like. Get there, then stop. Don't do extra miles. Not every task need an extra miles. Sometimes, yeah, even though you do more things, it doesn't yield with the better result. And then start, yeah, with the first obvious action. Take minimum viable action. What is the things that we can do instantly? There is an example about Netflix. How Netflix start? Actually, Netflix start with DVD rental that can be posted. So what is the first step? Actually, the founder just send a DVD to his own address, and then he wants to see, hey, is it broken or not? If it is not broken, then well, it's workable. As simple as that. That's how Netflix start. Because finally the founder, oh, it is not broken. The CD is still in a good condition. So okay, so let's start the Netflix. So that is the minimum viable action that you can do. It creates momentum. And then simplify what are the minimum steps required for the completion. This is actually a story about how Amazon start with one-click shopping. At that time, the engineers focus on how to simplify the steps, because when you do online purchase, well, definitely you need to fill in the name, the address, the payment, and so on and so on. So at the first time, the designer tried to simplify each step. But at the end, Jeff Bezos, how about if we eliminate this? So instead of simplify, it goes with the eliminate. So that's how Amazon finally found the one-stop shopping. Okay, so then progress, yeah. It means you don't have to be perfect when you start at the very first time. And then the last one is pace. So you better to make a constant improvement every day, make it as a habit instead of you doing in one shot and after that you stop and then you build your momentum again. So that is the second part. And the last one is the effortless result. Yeah. So after you achieve the things that you do, then how to, let's say, make it happen over and over again. Several tips, yeah. I'll just mention it a brief. Learn the principles, not the facts and the method. So basically, you can get better result if you learn from the best expert. And also the importance of teaching. If you teach the knowledge to the other people, then they can replicate it. And then how to automate. So basically make it as a habit. And trust, how you can trust other people so that you then have to deal with the mental energy of starting over again, and then prevent, solve the problem before it happens. So that's all the key takeaways from the book. Moving on to the next question. How can we apply this book in real life? Actually, this book is really applicable. So especially what I found in effortless state, because I do have a mindset, what is essential must be difficult. So now I start to think how to make it easy, how to make it enjoyable. And if we ask the right question, how to make it easy, and finally our brain start to find a way, start to find the possibilities. Oh yeah, it doesn't have to be that difficult. And also like start, what is the minimum viable action? Because sometimes what prevent us from start is we think, okay, if I do this, there are so many things that I need to do, and we give up before even we start. So those are the things that I really can apply in my real life. And is there anything that I disagree or have a concern? Well, after reading this book and try to implement it in real life, it seems like it doesn't as effortless as the book says. There is still some effort, yeah. Especially not everything can be make as effortless as possible. And also I found that the books on the third part, the effortless result, is not as powerful with the first, effortless state and effortless action. So after going high in effortless state, okay, keep the momentum, it seems like the effortless result is a bit going down. So I guess that's all that I can share from the book Effortless. But all in all, I will suggest this book to all of you. Yeah, it's simple, it's practical, and it changes your mindset. Thank you. Maybe anyone who have question about this book?
David, did you read the Essentialism as well?
Yes, I did. I read Essentialism maybe several months ago, and I like it. So that's why when I know Greg McKeown write another book, Effortless, then I pick it. And actually, I finish it in just 3 days.
Wow.
As
Okay.
per Donald's suggestion. Because when Donald asked me, David, can you become moderator? Wait, Donald, haven't read any books. But he put belief in me. David, you can finish a book in 3 days. Okay. So actually reading the book is also effortless for me, Donald.
Put you in an effortless state.
Yeah.
How many pages today?
How many pages? Well, I read it in Kindle, so I don't know, but I think you can find the information in the Amazon page.
Okay.
Wait.
And the style of the writing, like is it easy to digest or simple or?
Yes, easy and simple. The fact is I can finish it in 3 days, say that it is simple.
Well, it
Maybe
could
you
be that you
scan
are
it,
a very
David.
good reader.
We don't know. Maybe you scan it.
No, I read it from the beginning until the end. And also the good thing about this book, after each chapter, he provides a summary. So it makes us easier. Yeah. Hey, by the way, I can share the slides that I use. Yeah. The summary of the book. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Send it already into the chat room. Yeah.
I have a question about the content of the book. Especially you said that on the third one is effortless results, right?
Yes.
And in this you learn principle, not the methods, and how to automate. And this one, like automating it or doing all the methods and everything, it depends on the personality of the person. If you are like how to say this, from the ISC, for example, you are very dominant, like D, and it's probably harder for you to do this, like to go to take it easy, to get just relax, sit back, or something like that. And I think the three of them on the effortless sort of accommodating a different personality. Is it being discussed there?
Okay, so about the correlation about this method with the characteristic, the book hasn't discussed anything about it, yeah. But automate is about how to make it as a habit. So once you acquired a result, then try to make it as a habit. So you don't have to think over and over again. Because if you make it as a habit, then the process will repeat automatically. You don't have to do the rethinking over and over again. So basically it's about the automate, but it doesn't discuss anything in correlation with the characters of the person. Yeah. So that one I cannot answer.
Okay.
Okay.
David, I have a question. I know
Yes,
it's 16 now. I hope you still have time for the question.
Yes, we do. We do.
Okay. So there is a quote, takes a long time to do things effortlessly. Now, do you think this book agrees with that quote or not?
I guess this book tried to shorten that long time, Pipit. Because it depends on the person and also definitely depend on the task. Some things that I also have concern with is most of the time this book discuss about how to handle a task. One thing that I saw is difficult is about dealing with people. I do believe you agree with me, right? Doing certain tasks, well, you can make it effortless, yeah, easier rather than dealing with people. If you deal with the complicated people, then the book hasn't
It's not
discussed about that.
effortless at all.
Correct. Yes. This book hasn't
It
discussed
takes
about that
lots of
topic.
effort.
Yep.
Yeah.
Can I have a question?
Okay, last question then, yeah, Donald. Yeah, Donald or Fajar?
Donald.
Oh, okay.
Okay, thank you. Do you think the concept in the book has relation with the Japanese concept of Kaizen?
Continuous improvement?
Yeah, so streamlining. Is it related or there are differences? What do you think?
There might be relation, Donald, especially in the effortless result. Effortless result is basically you achieve the result and you get there with easier method. But now how to make it going on again. He mentioned the concept about linear result. Linear result means, okay, so you work, you get result. But if you want to get another result, then you have to work again. So if Kaizen means you want to improve again, right? So, well, this is the result. You want to improve it so that you don't have to do it over and over again. So you improve it by automation and or maybe teach it to other people so that they can get result, yeah, and to help you. So I guess it has connection in the effortless result part, yeah. And I think that's all the time that I have for this
Fajar
book.
has a question though.
Oh, okay, Fajar.
Okay, the book mentioned about effortless action, I guess.
Yep. That's the
And
second
in
takeaway.
your opinion, how do you balance between just doing the most important thing compared to giving high quality result?
Okay.
Yeah.
So the book said that after you establish what done is, then you have to identify what are the minimum steps required. So in order to deliver result, so first step is you have to get it done. Most people, they do have a perfectionist mindset. So, okay, everything has to be good. Let's say when you do your thesis, maybe, okay, so let's make it good. Print it in a very nice paper and also make the cover so nice. Those are good things, but it may not deliver, means all your good effort may not have direct implication with the result. Just like with the examples of Greg McKeown and his friend. Yeah? His friend is just do the minimum task. Just do what the teacher asked him to do. Greg Mikian go extra mile, but the end result is the same grade. So that's probably, I think, the essence, yeah. So actually, extra mile doesn't always yield the increment result. You just need to make sure what are the minimum step first, and after that, you want to do the Kaizen like Donald just said, then it's up to you, yeah. But at least get it done first.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you, Fajar. Yeah. So I guess that's also close the discussion from Effortless Book. Let's move on now. Pipit or Donald? Yeah.
Shoot, Donald, shoot.
Okay.
Yeah, repeat first. Repeat.
Rock, paper, scissors, go. Oh,
Rock, paper, scissors. Me, all three of them.
Okay,
Okay,
Pipit,
so
you can go.
the book I'm reading, I have read, is Da Vinci. I actually have the biography of Da Vinci by Walter Isaacson on my Kindle, but the book was 600 pages long, and it usually takes longer for me to read on Kindle than on physical book. The other book drags too long. I finished the first 130 pages and it was still teenager, Leonardo, before he even got the apprentice to his first teacher. Right? So I was, oh my God, I don't know when I can finish this. Then I started to see my physical book collection, and I got this one. It's for teenagers actually, but I feel lucky to have chosen this book because it's actually really insightful as well, just like what the other book said. And I give the rating is 4.5, and the reason why it's not 5 I will say later. And that is it. The reason why I'm interested in Leonardo da Vinci is because I don't know what made him that famous, basically. Yeah, there are so many other Renaissance men, right? Raphael, Michelangelo, Machiavelli. Machiavelli actually lived during the same time. Actually, he was friends with Leonardo da Vinci. I'm sure none of you know because I found out too. Machiavelli, the writer of The Prince, you know, that political book, was a good friend with Leonardo da Vinci. And then, but there is no the year of there's no the year of Raphael. There's no the year of Michelangelo celebrated in a lot of developed countries. But they do have the year of Leonardo da Vinci celebrated in US and in UK, in Italy as well, for example. So that made him somehow even put in a pedestal, right? Even more than other Renaissance men. So that was the reason why I was interested. And also the takeaways. First, the takeaways is the bad thing that happened to us actually can be a blessing. In the case of Leonardo da Vinci, he was born out of wedlock. He was anak haram, or a love child in English, right? And then because he was anak haram of a rich man with a peasant girl or a servant, right? And other sources even believe that the mom is actually almost like a slave. So she had to work in the farm without even getting paid. So right after he was born, he was nursed by the mom, maybe the first 2 years. After he didn't need breast milk anymore, the father took him away from his mom, and he never saw his mom again until when his mom was dying. He heard that his mom was dying in other town, and then he tried to look for her. And then after that, she lived last 1 year of her life with Leonardo da Vinci. So he never met his mom since before he had got memory until she passed away, right? Almost passed away. And a lot of people think this is the reason why whenever he painted women, right? Mona Lisa or even Madonna of the Rocks, all of the mother of Jesus, right? It's very touching because he actually somehow missed his mom in a way, you know. So there's a deep emotional involvement in his painting. And actually Sigmund Freud studied psychoanalysis using Leonardo da Vinci as an example about what happens if you miss that kind of connection, and maybe it can be translated in your work like that. But this bad thing that happened to him actually was a blessing in disguise, because he had to live as an anak haram in this rich man's, nobleman's house. He did not go to school because his family hid him from the rest of the world, right? So all of his siblings, 12 siblings, his father had 12 kids, his mom had 5 kids, so 17 siblings in total. But the one from the mom, he never met. His other 11 siblings from the father went to school, even went to university as well. But Leonardo was the only one he did not go to school. So what happened was the family members taught him how to read and write, and that's it. He was released in the family library. Thankfully, his family was rich, so he had a lot of books in the house library. So he had freedom to learn whatever he wanted to learn: astronomy, physiology, religion, all of these things. He had total freedom to learn about whatever interested him. And that's actually the good thing that happened to him. And he did not have any expectation, because his other siblings were required to follow the father's footsteps, to be a notary, land notary. Everyone became land notary, but Leonardo da Vinci did not have any expectation to follow the same footsteps. That's why now he is even more well known than his other siblings, right? So that is the blessing in disguise. And also another thing is there was unavailable help for him. For example, because his father was rich, he had a chance to be apprenticed to a famous painter already. So this kind of access was not available for other people. So we need to recognize that actually he was privileged also, right? Because other painters like Raphael, for example, Raphael actually came from a poor family. That's why it took him a long time to be known, and his life is also short, 37 years. Raphael, actually, this book also talk about Raphael. He was friends with Leonardo da Vinci. So Raphael, actually, it was harder for him to be well known compared to Leonardo da Vinci. He got a lot of help in terms of apprenticeships, and also his first job to work for a noble court in Milan was also given by his father. So his father had a lot of good connections. Can you give my son a job? And then they gave Leonardo da Vinci a job before even knowing whether he was good or not. But so thankfully he was good, right? So that's why he could deliver the quality. The last thing that I want to underline as the highlight or the takeaway is perfectionism actually can be a self-sabotage for us. So Leonardo da Vinci was 100% perfectionist. He demanded too much of himself, I would say. Like he never finished anything. Even Mona Lisa painting was not even finished because he did not learn how to draw eyebrows yet. So if you realize, Mona Lisa did not have eyebrows because it took him 2 years to study the face shape only. Another 2 years to study how fabrics with the lighting, all of this thing. It took him a long time to finish things because he wanted everything to be perfect. And this is actually the way he rarely finished what he started. Even a lot of his, invention, right? He tried to make a plane, for example. He did not even make a model of it. He was too busy calculating all of this thing for a long time, and then he got bored, move on to the next project, all of this. And it's really bad because actually it was an available help already. So he did not have to start from zero. There were already books talking about the mechanism or anatomy of body, but he insisted he wanted to figure out himself. So when he was given a commission to make a gigantic statue of this general on a horse, right? It took him 10 years to finish that. And if you can call it finish, yeah, I'll tell you later why. Because why? 2 years studying the muscles of the horses. Another 2 years studying the legs of a horse. He actually dissect a real horse and do all of these things just to be able to make it as realistic as possible. Well, actually, the anatomy of horse, there was already a book talking about it, but he refused to learn from other thinkers. He insisted to figure it out himself. He started from ground up, from scratch. So I think it somehow sabotaged his own projects, because after 10 years, this general was so furious. Like, it's like so long, 10 years. When he saw the result, he was really surprised. You know what he saw? He ordered a statue of himself riding a horse, right? The general. After 10 years, what was finished was the horse only, without even him. So after 10 years, you get only a horse without even me on it. So a lot of things happen over and over again. And that makes him infamous. Only few people give him commission to do a painting or to do sculpting, because people know it's never going to happen. It's not going to finish. So that's why until now, only a few of his works actually survive. Yeah. And for example, even the Madonna on the Rocks that now is displayed in France and London, this was done because of a lawsuit. So Leonardo insisted, oh, it's not finished yet, not finished yet. And then the church sued him. If you did not finish this until blah, you need to pay blah, 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 blah. And then reluctantly, he turned in the finished work after he was forced to do that. So I think perfectionism can really self-sabotage us. So we need to seek help if we happen to have it. Yeah, because in Leonardo's case, it's quite self-sabotaging. Applied in real life. Okay. After after reading the story, I convinced myself that I'm a work in progress, and it's fine to be that way. But I need to turn in the result from time to time. I cannot just, okay, I want it to be better, and then we finally decide not gonna turn it in. And it happens to me because Maimu and I have a writing project, right? We are a group of people who wants to write an anthology. But it's hard for me because I always feel like, oh, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. Not good enough. I feel like I'm asking too much for myself. But then I'll tell myself it's okay. I'll just turn in what I think is my best for now. If somehow I want to revise it, I can do it next time. Right, Maimu? This is not the end of the world. After I turn it in, I have to let it go because I don't want to be like what Leonardo da Vinci did. Can never rarely turn in his final work. And the thing that I might concern, last one, is I still have not got the answer to my question. What made him that special? That made him very respected all over the world, even more than his equivalent, right? So this book actually did not answer why it is like that. Is it because of the Da Vinci Code or what, But yes, that is one that I think is lacking from this book. Okay, and that is it.
Thank you, Pipit. Yeah. So anyone? Question?
I have a question.
I have comments only because now I do know why all the memes of eyebrow is coming from Mona Lisa, because Mona Lisa herself is, no eyebrow at all. And then every now and then the eyebrow shapes and the evolution of eyebrow is always using Mona Lisa as the preference. it's very funny and very famous. All the memes about eyebrows. Sometimes you make the eyebrow like a Nike logo.
Yeah,
Sometimes it's only like a very thin moon shape and so on. So Mona Lisa is a very good reference for that meme.
yeah. Even Mona Lisa is not a finished work. So Leonardo da Vinci never turned in the Mona Lisa painting. It was still in his painting room. He carried it everywhere, moving from Rome to Spain, to France, back to Rome. Not Rome, Milan. Yeah, Milan. He never finished it yet because not finished yet studying about eyebrows. Yeah.
So Pipit.
Yeah.
We see that many people who have a tendency of artsy, or like they're very unique, not like everyone else, and they have this right brain kind of dominance very much. And don't you think it's not about, I'm not sure, is it in this book that says that it's because of his perfectionism, or is it your conclusion about this due to all the stories about him, or is it because he is an arts kind of person? So people with, I can say this, okay, people who have a tendency of, in MBTI, the tendency of perceiving, not judging, perceiving, they tend to like jump up and down and get bored easily doing one thing. And they always have this, there's a seeker for something new each time. Because I feel like I'm also like that. If I read a book, I have to, if it, I don't like routine, constant, something like that. So I have to leave it first, then I can come back later when the novelty is coming back. So
Yeah.
don't you think, don't you think Da Vinci
That's part of the reason.
Yes, or different reason?
I think a lot of other artists like Rembrandt, Cezanne, and Van Gogh, Michelangelo, Raphael, all of these artists have the same tendency of they easily get bored. But what set Leonardo apart with them is that at least the other artists finish their work and they can be counted on. Like, for example, okay, Michelangelo, I need you to paint the Sistine Chapel. Please finish it in 5 years. And he did deliver it. Actually, he painted on his back 18 hours a day. Right. This book even mentioned he's one of the hardworking artists, Michelangelo. And Michelangelo hated Leonardo da Vinci because Leonardo did not have the same industry, he did not have the same hard work, but he kept getting commission, So other artists, although they are bored, they still follow through. And I think in the case of Leonardo, because he did not have expectations since he was a kid because he was anak haram, no one somehow pushed him to do something. Like, he got this freedom since he was a kid. And also he did not need money because he got inheritance from his uncle. His uncle Francisco never had a kid, never got married, and he was also rich, and he gifted all of his land and money to Leonardo da Vinci. So even without commission from Vatican or from other king of France, he did got them, but even without it, he was fine. So I think there's no pressure for him to, he took his time.
Basically, he's the definition of anak sultan. If we call him nowadays, right?
But
anak sultan.
But even more free than anak sultan. Yes, because his other siblings had expectations for them, right? You need to follow your father's step, show in public. Leonardo only got the money without expectation. So totally a spoiled brat,
Yeah.
But he said here, the first sentence of this book said, Leonardo rarely failed at anything, except he did not have a, sorry. Leonardo rarely failed at anything, except he did have a problem finishing what he started. And of course, he was way ahead of his time. There was no even electricity during his time. And he invented like planes, all of this, yeah. A lot of weapons, military weapons, which were not gonna happen without electricity. So a lot of his inventions also way ahead of his time. So that's another reason why he did not even build a prototype of his inventions, only on books. I think it's overtime. I'm overtime now.
Yep. Thank you so much, Pipit. Yeah. So very nice book, very enlightening dialogue. But I guess now we need to move on to the last presenter, yeah? Donald, yeah? It's your turn. You have 20 minutes, yeah?
Okay, thank you, David. So the book that I'd like to share today is titled How to Fail at Almost Everything and Still Win Big by Scott Adams. Scott Adams is the creator of Dilbert Comics. And second question, what the book is all about? As the title says, is about how to succeed in life by embracing failures. So yeah, the title speaks for itself. The second question, what are the key takeaways that you get from the book? Mention 3. So one of the things that is taught in the book is that the power of simplification. So I will simplify the content of the book into 3 words. The first word is system, the second word is energy, and the third word is luck. And I simplify it further into an equation. So I will write it on the chat room. It's not in the book, but my own conclusion. So success equals system equals energy plus luck. Basically, this is the content of the book. So if you want to succeed, first you need to have a system, not a goal. So that is something that is counterintuitive. He hates goals. For example, I have to achieve this by this time. That is the definition of goal, right? Smart goal. He hates that. Instead, in his opinion, we need to have a system. What is the difference between a system and a goal? A system is something that you do regularly or continually. So it's not something that you try to achieve once and then you move on to the next thing that you try to achieve. No. Instead, this is something that you do continually. So that is called a system. And the second part is energy. So system equals energy plus luck. So his system has 2 parts. The first part is maximizing personal energy, and the second part is maximizing your luck or your probability for success. In his opinion, if we want to do something, there is one simple metric. For example, in capitalism, the metric is profit. You try to maximize profit. In our personal life, in his opinion, the metric is your personal energy. So if you try to make decision between 2 jobs, for example, you choose the one that maximizes your energy, meaning the one that makes you more excited. But one caveat is that this is not short-term energy, but long-term. So if something you just get excited for like 1 year or 2, it's not maximizing your personal energy in the long term. And also part of energy is that you need to maintain your health. Actually, I have further equations, but energy equals health plus cost. So if you want to maximize your energy, first you must maintain your health, physical health, get enough sleep, exercise, and then you need to have a cause, meaning something that makes you excited to wake up and go through your day. And for luck, the equation actually for luck is combination plus perseverance. Combination plus perseverance. First, luck means you need, in his opinion, it is better to combine some mediocre skills than being excellent at one skill. So he gave example himself. He's not the best drawer artist in drawing cartoons. No, there are many people who can draw better than him. He is not the best comedian. More people can make better jokes than him. He is not the best writer. But when combined into one person, it becomes Dilbert comic. So the combination is unique, and that is better than being excellent in just one. So that is combination. And the second part of luck is perseverance. Once you have the other part of the equation in place, you just need to keep trying things until you get lucky. So basically that is his method. You put yourself in a position to be lucky, and then by maximizing your odds with combining different skills, and you keep trying, you embrace failures, eventually luck will find you. So he gave me an example about failures in his life. He tried to make computer games, failed, build restaurant, failed, and many other things. So that is the second part, system equals energy plus luck. Third question, how this book can be applied in real life, or how can this book inspire your life? Well, you can build a system that maximizes our personal energy and probability for success. So exercise and finding something that we're excited about, and also learning new skills. And four, are there anything in the book that you disagree with? Well, nothing really, except that this is just like most motivational books, is purely humanist, meaning it's all about our capability, no dependency on God or spiritual things at all, none. So that's the only thing, but that is to be expected because many motivational books is like that. And number 5, yeah, okay, that UNA session with all members. Okay, thank you.
It was short, yeah. I was surprised just now.
I thought you want to ask question, Pipit.
Yes. So, Donald, is there anything that is new from this book that you have not heard before from other books?
Well, there are quite a lot actually. Like for example, his focus on energy is something new for me. Usually people talk about passion, on about your talents, but his metric is energy. So for example, if he does his cartoon because it maximizes his energy, something like that. So why do I choose this? Because it maximizes my energy, it energizes me. So that is something new for me. Usually people use other metrics like talents or the need of other people or passion. But, and also, yeah, so that is the system I already. Yeah.
What's the difference between energy and passion?
Energy is more complex. It also, the equation that I come up with is health plus cost. So your health part is also important. You need to take care of yourself first. So first your diet and then exercise. Exercise is very important for him because that maximizes your energy. And then cost is the so not just cost. Passion is just one part of energy.
Donald, I have a question about energy. I'm into energy, but it's so hard for me to, if people ask me what is energy, it's always challenging to explain.
Energy is MC square.
Yeah, that also difficult for people, some people to understand, including myself, right? The question is, how is the energy being explained by the author, if it's being explained at length, and if not, how do you explain this in a more friendly for people awam like me lah, yes, sort of, because when you say energy is health plus cost, it's still hard to understand, because some people understand energy as something spiritual, something physical, okay, or something like mental. So how do you explain, or how was the writer explain about this?
Yeah, it's difficult because we have no context, right? I just use the term without the stories behind it. So I think one other term can explain it better in this case, and that is enthusiasm. Enthusiasm. If we are enthusiastic about something, that is we have energy. So I think that term is better. What is the thing that make us more enthusiastic in the long term? So, like for example, I'd like to take example of Steve Jobs again. One of the powerful thing about Steve Jobs is that his energy on the stage, enthusiasm is contagious. You can feel it. He was really, really passionate about the product, and he explained, "This is fantastic, incredible." So that is energy. An example. He chose to make products that made him excited and enthusiastic. So that is actually one example. If we use the energy framework, it's actually quite plain. Wow, oh yeah, so Steve Jobs chose that part because this product make him excited, something like that. So it makes sense to see how people make decisions.
Hello?
The data
Can I ask a question? Or the time is up? Hello, Donald?
Yep.
Okay, so the book mentioned about how to fail almost every time and still big win. And what do you think about people who cannot afford to fail? I mean, for example, a father who have 4 childs and he cannot risk to fail his business because otherwise he cannot feed his child, or someone who have to pay big bills, and so they cannot fail many times. They have to succeed. So how do you compare that? Someone who cannot fail because of that circumstance and fail almost every time. How do you compare that?
Okay, thank you. I think we actually, each of us experience failure, just the scale is different. So in the situation that you explain, that means the person can only afford a small scale of failure, but still failure. So for example, with business, just do something with small capital or very small capital. Or maybe just online without any offline infrastructure. So still failure is there. I think it's impossible for us to avoid failures, but we can manage the skill and the risk. So if only a small amount of risk can be taken, then we can adjust what kind of risk we can take. So it's not avoiding failure, but just managing the risk and what kind of risk we can afford.
Okay, thank you.
Actually, there is something in the book. There is quite a lot that I cannot mention. Something that I already mentioned before in our discussion. One of them is the distinction between simplifier and optimizer. The book that David shared is actually about simplifier, trying to simplify things. You do the good enough, you define done, and then you try to achieve there. And he said that I'm a professional simplifier. I try to streamline things and make it simple. But then there is the second type. The second type is called optimizer. Da Vinci is actually an optimizer in our discussion today. So there other people try to simplify, but Da Vinci do not want to take knowledge from other people, right? So he was an optimizer. And according to Scott Adams, the author, first you become a simplifier, and after you achieve a threshold of success, then you can afford to become an optimizer. And in our discussion today also come up, Leonardo could afford that kind of optimizing because he inherited the wealth from his uncle. So makes sense, all these concepts.
Thank you, Donald. Yeah, I guess that you sum it up beautifully, so that all the discussion today, it does not like separate parts, but it becomes like a flow, like an integral part. Yeah. So I guess that's all, yeah, from of the speakers today.
Rizka, maybe
Yeah,
5 minutes,
probably.
last 5 minutes, Rizka. She
Yeah.
came very late.
Mhm.
She took 90 minutes to eat lunch.
Ah, sorry about that. Lunch and zuhur and here and there. I finally get to finish my book, Madam Secretary by, wait, let me check. Wait. I even forgot her name.
Madeleine Albright. Madeleine Albright.
Right, yes, that's the one. So it's a very long book. Wait, it's I don't get to memorize a lot of the things that she explains because basically she explains a whole time when she was the Madam of Secretary and before she was appointed. She talks just what I like about this book is I get to see and feel what it feels like to be one of the few woman leaders in USA and how she do that in sacrifice of her personal life because just before she was appointed as Madam Secretary of State, she was divorced. I mean, her husband filed the divorce, and until at the moment when she was being divorced, she was asking, "What's wrong? What happened?" And it's like she very disappointed, and but she continues on her journey. And then further in her political life, it's like in the first year she was appointed. There's this one of the things that interesting to me is during his first year, she was being questioned by a reporter about her parents who was actually victims of the genocide, the Holocaust. And she was said that she covered it up, but she really didn't. And she said, I really don't know a lot about it. And because of that incident, she gets to know her parents and her parents' history. And what else? She also share backstories on very important discussions like related to Israeli and Palestinians conflict and how she tries so hard to negotiate between the two parties. And yeah. What else? I don't know. Wait. Sorry, I have to check the questions. What I can say about this book first, it's a must for women leaders because you get to have like some things that struggles to you. It's actually also a struggles for women because there are times when you really should sacrifice a lot of your expectations, your ideal kind of life to serve on the things that you believe. And she did really believe in her ideal democracies of the world. And then second, it also beneficial for those who really want to know about international politics. And third one is something that you, for those or also for men who want to see how women in politics get to share her point of view as well. What else? What is all the question? I forgot. Sorry.
What you can apply in your life?
What I can comply in my life, it's all about trade-offs. I would say it's all about trade-off because sometimes we feel that we can do things all perfectly, all at the same time. But in here, basically you cannot. And it's another reminder of that concept, but in a higher level. And yeah, it's inspiring me to be who I am. I mean, as a woman who's not logical, can be very irrational, can be very sensitive, but at the same time we have our own way of impacting what's surrounding us. And is there anything that I would disagree about this book? Well, I mean, she has his way. She has a way of thinking that this ideal democracy, and where as a representative of United States, she gets to use her influence to get on one country and, you know, I would say infiltrate what's already happened in the country. But in my opinion, we cannot do that. I mean, there are state sovereignty, and I don't think U.S. should use that thing in their own perspective of democracy. State have their own way of doing, so that's what I disagree about that. And what else? Yeah, so yeah, that's it. I have only 5 minutes. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Yeah. So I guess now it's 2 p.m. plus 2. It is time for us to say goodbye. Thank you so much for participating in today's Book Brewers meeting. Hope all the insights that we learned today will benefit us in the future. So, Pipit, Donald, is there any arrangement for the upcoming meeting?
Yes. Who wants to be the moderator? 14th of August next month. Who hasn't done it? Mbak Imu, you ran away once, yeah. Mbak Imu ran away once that time.
Yeah, and well, I'm okay for this time, but hopefully, I don't run away again.
Okay. Okay, for now, let's put Mbak Imung as the next moderator on 14th of August.
Okay. Thank you.
Is there anything else, Donald?
Yeah, I just like to mention our club mission, cultivating the passion for lifelong learning. So let's leave it. We cultivate the passion for lifelong learning. Thank you. Thank you,
passion
for
lifelong
we finish, can I ask something? This one is what we can all learn together. I would like to ask for your just small number of people. Rizka and I have been learning from the book Oxygen Advantage. I would love to be able to discuss about the breathing so that we can also practice that. I think nowadays people breathe, but they don't know how to breathe correctly or maximize the breathing. I wanted to make like a big webinar. However, I want to try it out first with with you guys, because you are very sharp and you can give some input or feedback, and at the same time you also practice that.
Imung, Diaz has read about how to breathe from
all right, that's cool.
Ditch.
From where?
Thich Nhat Hanh, and it was how to sit or how to walk. I forgot the one that I
not how to breathe.
No.
Oh, okay. How long is it, Mbak Imung?
How long? What, the session?
Yeah.
Well, we can do that for well, I aim to do that for like 30 minutes. at time, because I'm thinking of this as like sort of a series. I have this concept of Hasani. Hasani means that hayati saat ini. So a lot of people do things, but they don't hayati saat ini. So, and that's first thing is the breathing. If you menghayati, or if you, what is menghayati in English?
Menghayati, ya.
There is a
internalize.
Probably there's a term mindfulness, but it's not so easy to translate that mindfulness in Bahasa Indonesia. So 30 minutes probably as a start. And actually in this book, it's not about the physical of like not the mechanical of breathing, but it's on the bio of breathing. Understand first what breathing is and how to do that correctly, and what's behind the breathing, so that we don't only follow the mechanical mechanism of breathing, but we don't know what it is, you know. So, and
actually have an idea about that one. Usually in book brewers, although we start at 12, but people start coming at 12:15. But there are some of us who comes at 12. And then each person will get 15 minutes, right? Including Mbak Imung, 15 minutes. So we can use probably the first at 12 until 12:30. So it will be 15 minutes or usually waiting time, right? Maybe people who want to join this breathing exercise so they can come on time. And then we use 15 minutes of your turn of sharing book. That will be exactly 30 minutes. But that's my opinion. How about you, Donald?
I think that's better separated, maybe before. So we keep it separated because we discuss books, right? Breathing exercise is something different. So to stay focused on our mission. So put it maybe like if we start at 12, you can do it like 11:45 is fine for those who want to join, but optional. That's why.
Yeah.
But should not mix these two, in my opinion.
Okay.
So 11:45 on 14th of August, and then we'll offer it at the WhatsApp group, yeah?
Yeah.
And of course, Mbak Imung can also invite people from Bookaholics.
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry, but then we need to stop at 12 because 12 to 12:10 or 12:50, we need to chit chat a bit, right? Chit chat.
Yeah.
So, but it depends on Mbak Imung then. Can you do it 15 minutes?
15 minutes, yeah.
Up to you.
As a concept, or as a, well, we can do that, right, Rizka? Yeah.
But Rizka needs to be punctual.
Yeah.
Okay, I will stop the recording.